Hiphil.
1-800-Dr. Bartel.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to waste a lot of time going through all of these again because it becomes somewhat counterproductive. But look at look at the Hiphil. Hey, save. Now, what have we done here? Well, yeah, we don't have any root letters. We don't have enough root letters. If you're at all clever and a little bit lucky, you might see that as the Hiphil prefix, right? And you have the Hiphil prefix with, name that vowel family, the EI family, which is what you're supposed to have in a Hiphil. In other words, the regular verb should be hic-teal at that point, right? So you've sort of got a remnant of that, and it's lengthened because it's open, and now you're going, well, I only got 2 root letters. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue for the missing root letter. Nothing's making sense here. You reach the conclusion that since nothing's making sense, at least let's try a geminate. And now you look it up in the lexicon, and again, it will give you these forms in the lexicon and confirm whether or not you're on the right track. Okay. Look at the imperfect form of the Hiphil, which is in the bottom box there. The form is ya save. How does that compare to the regular verb? Again, let me write it out so I can scribble all over it. What do we have here? Well, we have an imperfect prefix with an a vowel. You might think that's a hollow, right? The regular verb in this point is supposed to have an a vowel and the infix, yak-teal. There's your Hiphil regular verb, right? Again, you have that a business showing up here. It's just lengthened because it's stuck in an open syllable, right? Open syllable, long vowel. And instead of having the infix, which is a long I-E vowel, you have a shortened regular long vowel, but it's still of the IE family. In other words, there are some pieces here where if you compare it to the regular verb can kind of go, yeah, that makes sense, I guess, even if it's a little weird. All right? So, bottom line, you have to know about geminates. Okay? I wish it were not so. If it were not so, I would not have told you. But you do have to know something about geminates. They exist. There are frankly a lot of geminate verbs in the language. Since they do not follow a very consistent pattern, they're not worth learning. But you will need to learn enough savvy to figure them out. Okay. And there are some exercises, as you might have guessed, and that would be the assignment we'll also pick up, though on Wednesday I know your major goal is that strong verb qualifying quiz. But we will, both Wednesday and then again on Thursday. We meet on Thursday. We still meet 3 times a week. What do the elders do in this congregation, Pastor? They meet once a month. On page 81, try your hand at some of these things, okay? Now the other part, so do the exercises for chapter 22, and we will drill a little, just to get a little bit of a feel for what you might be looking for in real life. The second part of this lesson, of lesson 22, which is on page 213, is called the polale, the polal, and the hithpolale conjugations. Now here's where it really gets fun. Here's where it really gets fun. What we have in these conjugations, the way I try to explain it, I'm not sure that there aren't better ways of explaining this, but when we have a verb like cum, remember our hollow root cum? Let's see if I can. Red seems to work well. Remember our